People usually think God is dead is only a religious idea. But in the 19th century, this sentence meant something much bigger. It was the code for a world that was breaking apart. For centuries, people lived with clear traditions, slow change, and a stable moral world. But suddenly, everything shifted. Industry grew, cities exploded, science challenged old beliefs, and the modern individual was born. The old sources of meaning collapsed. And when the old gods disappeared, humanity created new ones: nation, progress, ideology, and the power of the state. So this video is not about losing faith in religion. It is about how people escaped the authority of the church, only to become followers of their own creations: systems, machines, money, and the modern ego. This is the story of how a new world was born, and how its new gods reshaped the entire human experience. For many hundreds of years, life in Europe was built on one thing: the absolute power of God. Authority came straight from heaven and told people exactly how to live. People followed these rules because their biggest goal was to save their souls after death. Personal desires were seen as dangerous. They were a mistake you had to hide and confess. Life felt incredibly stable and safe. People did not live alone. They were part of a strong, shared group called the community, Gemeinschaft. Your social life and security were defined by blood ties and family. You didn't get security from contracts. You got it from loyalty and your name. No one had to worry about who they were. Your place was set the day you were born and approved by God. The economy was simple and slow. It focused only on making what the community needed, not on getting rich or chasing profit. Time itself felt different. It was measured by the bells of the church and the changing seasons, not by the fast clock in the factory. The best feeling was comfort, the deep comfort of knowing that even bad times had a divine reason, and that you would never need to invent your own rules for living. This was the safe, heavy, and complete rule of God. But in the 19th century, this stable order began to shake, not just from one direction, but with huge pressure coming from everywhere at once. The ground that held up the world began to crumble. The shock was not just about faith. It hit the economy hard. The slow, stable, centuries-old economic system based on land was suddenly ending. Now, the people holding the money and power were not landowners, but big merchants and new, rich businessmen. Money and trade became the new, fast, and often cruel center of social power. The economy changed too quickly for people to keep up. Everything became unpredictable. The old social ties based on family and blood also broke down at the same time. Families and communities grew weaker. People were moving quickly into huge cities, connected only by contracts, living among millions of strangers. A new, fast industrial order was being built. The pace of life was terrifying. But the familiar system of the church was completely foreign to this complex, fast-changing world. The church did not have the rules to regulate this new trade, this new ambition, or this new speed of life. The old sermons offered no comfort against factory debt. People were in a state of great shock and confusion. They felt a deep, cold fear. They did not know who would make the new rules when the old ones no longer worked. Everyone was desperately trying to find their place, trying to redefine who they were in this quickly changing world. They looked up for guidance, but they found only silence. This massive, cold reality was the answer they received. The great empty space was quickly filled. New gods were rising, and they were powerful machines. First, rules took the place of God in government. The new master was reason. Governance was based on cold, printed logic. The nation-state and rational bureaucracy took the place of the church's moral oversight. The government became a giant machine run by strict formulas, not by kindness. The individual was a small subject controlled by rules they could not question. Second, money took the place of salvation in the economy. Capitalism was born. The old moral goal was replaced by the terrifying demand for endless profit and constant growth. The market became the new boss, demanding total efficiency. This freedom also meant that all moral limits on wealth were gone. Humans started the unlimited exploitation of nature, viewing it only as a resource to be used for profit. Third, your own self took the place of the community. People were told they could worship their own ego. They looked for happiness and meaning, only in buying things and feeling good about themselves. Self-realization became the new ultimate goal. But this freedom brought a terrible final truth, a new kind of harsh rule. Once God's old limits were gone, the pursuit of power became absolute and endless. This led to a fierce fight to dominate others in business and in society. This constant struggle and emptiness left people lost. They desperately needed new answers, new rules, and a new purpose to believe in. So, they started looking for new solutions. They created political ideas, we call them ideologies, which acted like new secular religions. These ideas promised total salvation and a perfect world, but they demanded the same thing the church once did: total, blind obedience to the state or the party. Was getting rid of God true freedom, or did modern man just trade one master for many others? Did he become the servant of the cold machine he built, the thrall of the fast market, and the slave of his own strong ego?